Good afternoon, and very good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Welcome to VUEGRAPHY. Yeah, I am back, and I was back in my home country, spending some time. Things are good now. I am back, and we are, you know, back on the track. Well, first thing first, this today's video is about Z8, another D700 in moment in making. What? Let me break down things for you. And in this video, I'm going to talk about Z8 versus Z9, and there was some bit of history which is interesting actually. Uh, in October, not October, December, December 2007, Nikon announced D3, the flagship full-frame camera, which changed the course of history for Nikon. And Nikon sale went roof high, and every pro was switching to Nikon. And then after 7 months, in July 2008, Nikon announced D700 by saying that it's Mini D3. So what D700 was carrying, it's the same sensor of D3, but little bit of tweak, like instead of 2 card slot, it was having 1 card slot, and same kind of robust body, with no video. At that time there was no video. So from the technology perspective, the technology that was available back in 2008, so whatever the Nikon was offering in a DSLR domain, whatever the D3 was offering, the D700 was kind of a subside. Like there is a miniature D3 in the form of D700. Of course, there were some kind of things were missing. Like I just said, 1 card slot was missing in D700, and number of focus point were the same. The weather sealing robust body. So it was literally like D3, uh, and it was 60% of the price of D3. I believe it was the D700 at the time it was announced $3,000. Now it's $250. You can go and buy from eBay over the period of 15 years. The price reduced and like insane. And there's a whole bunch of crazy enthusiasts and professionals who still love D700 and D3 like crazy. So 60% of the price was $3,000 of D700. So you can imagine, multiply by 60% more, and you will get around 5,000 and above the D3 was at that time. Fast forward today. In October 2021, Nikon announced Z9 with the insane price of $5,500. Nikon's Z9 price was very much like $500 less from Canon R3 and $1,000 less from Sony A1, the Z9 price. So at 5.5K dollar, you are having Z9, which is still an expensive camera with all the upgrades, software upgrade, which makes Z9 entirely new camera. In our firmware update 2.0, and after that firmware upgrade 3.1, Z9 was evolving over the period of time. Now, a couple of days ago, we have the announcement of Z8. So it looks like we have exactly that D700 moment. But when I tried to check the specs, well, actually Nikon gave us more than what we were expecting. So if you look back, the D3 and D700 moment, the D700 was carrying the same legacy of D3, but with some functions were missing, card slot, and few functions were missing at that time. I believe there was a metering issue, metering or something. The ports were not that good, and the battery life was not that longer than D3. D3 can shoot up to hours and hours, but with support of battery grip, of course you can shoot a D700 like D3. So yeah, but you are spending more on that. So now the Z9 and Z8, with the Z8 I was checking the specs. There is literally like 98 to 99%. Z8 is exactly like Z9. So what's missing in Z8? First of all, there is no GPS. There is no GPS. Z9 have the GPS. Second, there is the function button. One function button is missing. Instead of four function buttons in Z9, Z8 carries three function buttons. All right. What else? Instead of two CX Express card, you have one CX Express card in the Z8, but you have just two SD card slots, which we all need. Nobody carrying CF Express card all the time because they are very bloody expensive. They are very expensive. The card reader and everything. But by having the SD card in Z8, you have a bit of relief, and you can even put on your laptop built-in card slot or anywhere. So it's that easy. So ZF have advantage over here. But the SD card slot having the tendency of filling up quickly because they are not as high speed like CF Express card. So when you're shooting sports, action, wildlife, bird, and you're shooting in burst, that SD card slot may hang up when it comes to long burst of shooting. But that's totally subjective, and it depends on the user. So maybe the user who's owning Z8 never used the SD card slot when shooting birds or sports. But I am very strong advocate of having backup. Backup is must. Even if you're shooting one CF Express card raw, but the JPEG in the SD card, it must. Backup is the must. But that's a matter of another discussion. I'm not going to talk about it. So what else we are missing in Z8? Battery grip, of course, we are missing the battery grip in the Z8, but it's good for the videographers because videographers feeling the Z9 heavy. Z9 is very chunky, not chunky, it's solid camera. So over the gimbal or over the drone, it was carrying the weight. So the Z8 is the perfect alternative for videographers for carrying. It's now more lightweight, 30% lighter, 15% lighter, 13% lighter than the Z9, and 15% lighter than the D850 when it comes to weight. And what else? But not only that, the Z8 will gives you 8K 60p, which is insane with the amount, with the total volume of the camera. Because when you look at the competitor, no other camera can give you 8K at 60p with the type of the body shape and the price point. I'll talk about the price point in the end of the video. So with the type of the body that Z8 is having, it looks like, I haven't seen it, but from the way it looks like, I'm compared with D850. I use D850 a lot in past, and D850 is one solid camera. So by setting next to it the Z8, it looks like it is going to be a solid camera when it comes to build quality. And I can especially put all the consideration when it comes to physics and heat dissipation to make Z8 compatible with the 8K 60p recording for up to 2 hours. They made the body so solid that it will last more than 2 hours. Give me one other camera which can do that with Z8, with the same form factor of Z8. There is no other camera which can go up to 2 hours of 8K 60p recording. There is no other camera. Not even the Sony flagships or even Canon R5. Because the Canon R5 and Sony A7R5 are basically the main competitor with the price bracket, which I'll talk about later. But when I was going through the specs of Z8 and I was keep checking with the Z9, and I was surprised, like how come it's the Nikon did not strip out the functionality of the Z9 and put almost everything into the Z8. It is surprising. By the way, the Z9 also having the 10-pin connector and the flash port sync on it, whereas on the Z8 the 10-pin connector was there in the front, but there is no flash sync port. So that is another thing which is missing in Z8. So the GPS missing, The flash sync port is missing, one function button is missing, and one extra CF Express card slot is missing, which is replaced by the SD UHS Type 2 card. What else is missing? The battery grip is missing. What else is missing? Same viewfinder, same everything. There isn't. So for you, these 5 things really matter: the battery grip, flash sync port, extra function button, one extra CF Express Type B card, or the GPS. Does it really matters to you? For 99% of the people, it doesn't. So the people who were really looking forward to go for the Z9, but because of the price point, they were not able to go for it. Now it's the time for people to go for Z8. You should go because it's insane. The price point. Now let's talk about the price point. The functionality of Z8 is at $1,500 less. The Z8 price is $1,500 less in compared to Z9, and you have almost 99% functionality in Z8 of the Z9 with $1,500 less price. So it's really amazing. I mean, it's time to go for it. So, and I'm feeling sorry for people who already own the Z9. It's really crazy that the people who are going to buy the Z8 will pay less for the same kind of features which they avail, which they got in Z9. Well, what to say now? But that's part of another discussion. But when it comes to price and the feature, Canon R5 doesn't have those kind of video codecs or something which Z8 is offering. You know, HLG and 10-bit and 8-bit and 12-bit RAW and all that, and all internal recording with no problem of overheating and and all that. By the way, don't use SD card. Don't use SD card for video recording if you are going for high bitrate video. The card is going to get hot and very, very hot. Use CF Express or XQD card. That's what I have seen in the video on the reviews which I watched. So that's point to be considered. R5 doesn't have this feature. All this when it comes to video. Uh, even what else? The Sony A7R5 carry two SD and two CF Express Type A card, which is expensive, and they are not fast enough like Express Type B cards. So, well, I don't know. But now everything boils down to autofocus system, which most of people you going to brag about. Well, again, I always say that if the person is missing the autofocus system and blaming the machine, it means that the person doesn't know how the machine operates. And the other companies make autofocus systems so amazing and so advanced that we really do not have to put effort and we just go with the flow, which makes us lazy. And when we have any other machine, we struggle. So, but there are people who are still using the Z9 without any issue, and they are having the same type of feedback like they were before. Now, there is another question came into my mind. The price of the Z8 is $3,999.95, almost $4,000. All right. Imagine you have $4,000 and you have the Z8 and you have a used Z9 and you have D6, which is available right now $3,400, $3,500 over eBay. Which one you gonna buy? Which one you gonna buy? There was one good argument that if you want the Z9 feature with warranty, go for Z8. Alright, because the Z9 warranty expire and its price gets low up to 4,000, so it's better to go with Z8 because Z8 carries the same feature of Z9 with warranty. And when it comes to used Z9, I don't know. My gut's feeling is I'm a fan of using the flagship camera because I'm using D3s. I used to own D4s. All right, I used D5, D6. I used Z9. I used to own Z9. So my hand got that feeling, and my my muscle memory and everything is get used of these flagship cameras that even I'm used my D700 with battery grip to get that feeling because when I shoot portrait mode, my hand remains the same rather than like this. So it's that muscle memory, and so I'm so much used to using the flagship cameras that if I get a chance, if I got $4,000 to spend, and I have a Z8 and I have used Z9 or I can see the D6, my heart will go with Z9 because that flagship feeling of the camera. But again, that's my opinion. But because I love to have 2CX card, I need that. I need GPS sometimes to shoot to record the location. You know, because I go out in the wild a lot. So of course you can sync up using an app and geotag the location in Z8, but that's an extra step. In Z9, I don't have to worry about it. The raw file's already tagged with the GPS location. So that's another thing. But when it comes to warranty, of course, I'll go straight with Z8. Straight. Good for traveling, good for video, gimbal and stuff. You will have less weight, less fatigue when you're going to use the Z8. That's the given fact. Z9 is heavy. So that's it. So it's totally up to the end user. Because I mostly shoot photos. So for me, I need heavier body. So when I put on a tripod, it remains stable. It doesn't move much. The lighter body is sometimes the wind blows or anything, slight touch to the tripod, it shakes and you can ruin the shot. Heavier bodies doesn't get affected easily. So that's my perception about why I should go with Z9 if I get $4,000, because Z9 price is really coming down. So, but if you want to travel lightweight, you don't want fatigue, Z8 is the option. Straight, dead straight, go with that. When it comes to shooting sports, action, wildlife, D6 is really good option to go right now, and it's insanely cheap, $3,400. Can you imagine? D6, which is have better autofocus than D5 and insane high ISO capability. If you have a range of old T-type lenses, like I have, I mean it's a gold. The D6 is a gold to go right now. But that's matter of another discussion, and we'll see. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I share with you my thought that why anyone should go with Z8 or why should anyone go with used Z9, and what are the main difference between Z8 and Z9. I mentioned 5 of them, which no GPS, no flash sync port, one missing SD CF Express type card slot, one missing function button, no battery grip. So these are the 5 functions, like 5 key things. Maybe there's more, but I can't remember anything. And imagine you just stripping away these 5 things and the price drops significantly, $1,500. So the main, like 99% of the Z9 is there in Z8. What you are waiting for? Just go and buy Z8. You're never gonna get anything like that. All the video codecs, all the video feature, the amazing Z9 autofocus system. I mean, it is Z9. Everything is Z9. Mostly when a camera company release a cheaper camera, they strip away the features. Nikon didn't do that. It literally copy paste the entire Z9 into Z8 except those 5 features. But it doesn't mean anything for 99.9% of the photographers or videographers. Actually, the Z8 is more focused for video content making because it's lightweight, it's smaller. That's what the market is for the Z8. But still, you can shoot, insane 120 frames per second. I would love to shoot with 120 and 60 frames per second wildlife, like bird and action sports. Exciting time, and I can't wait my hands to get to that Z8, and I'm going to test it, and I'll share my views with you guys very soon. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in future with some new content. Till then, take care. Bye.